We're going to Fantasy Springs!
Hey there, Mam Fam. We are going to Disney's newest land in the world, Fantasy Springs at Tokyo DisneySea.
There are 4 new attractions, multiple eateries, a ton of merchandise, and we are so ready to explore everything we can and bring you with us.
Now, if this is the first of our Tokyo videos that you have watched, you may notice our filming is going to be a little bit different than what you are used to. We are doing our best to respect all of the cultural norms while we are here in Tokyo, so stick with us.
Are you guys excited?
So excited. Jinx.
Let's go. Max, what are you most excited to do, see, ride, eat, whatever in Fantasy Springs?
I'm very excited for all of the theming, but my number one is Anna and Elsa's Frozen journey.
Molly, what are you most excited about at Fantasy Springs?
I've done my best to avoid spoilers of basically everything in this land, but I love Tangled, specifically the lantern scene, so I'm really excited about Rapunzel's Lantern Festival ride.
Alan, what are you most excited about today at Fantasy Springs?
You know, my gut says go with the Snuggly Duckling, but I am super excited about Peter Pan's Neverland adventure.
Before we get in there, I want to go over a few logistics. First of all, spoiler warning for Fantasy Springs. We are going to be showing you the attractions, the restaurants, as many details, Easter eggs as we can find. So if you don't want to know what Fantasy Springs looks like, you know, maybe this isn't the video for you, or just be warned. Now, before we head into Fantasy Springs and start our exploration, I do want to explain a few things about this land. First of all, it officially opened up on June 6th, and it has 3 different stories told within the port. You've got Frozen Kingdom, Rapunzel's Forest, and Peter Pan's Neverland. Now, the most important logistic about Fantasy Springs is that it is not open to all guests right now. Currently, you either need to have booked a vacation package, which provides you a 1-day Fantasy Springs passport. That's what we did. You have to obtain a standby, which is free, or Premier Access Pass, which costs money to one of the attractions inside, or you have to be staying at the Fantasy Springs Hotel. Guests are not allowed, as of right now, to just walk into the land. We booked the vacation package because it came with a whole bunch of things. It came with our hotel, park tickets, again, the Fantasy Springs access, which allows us to ride the attractions as many times as we want today, as well as some other perks, including some merchandise, dining reservations, etc. In my opinion, if you're traveling from overseas, these are a great way to do Tokyo Disneyland because they kind of take care of everything, and in my opinion, worth a little bit extra cost not to deal with some of that hassle. I will also say, if you are looking for the best planning tips for not only Fantasy Springs, but Tokyo Disneyland in general, make sure you're following my friend Chris at TDR Explorer. He's got a great Instagram, YouTube, as well as guidebooks, and he lives here, so he's the guy you want to follow for like up-to-the-minute best planning tips and advice. We're happy to be here and explore and give you our point of view, but he's the expert as far as these parks go. All right, I think that's enough chitter chatter, and let's go explore Fantasy Springs. Now, as we head into Fantasy Springs, I will tell you that the story according to Tokyo Disney is that once upon a time, far away, there was a magical spring where spirits lived. The spirits carved into the springs the many stories they encountered while traveling along the water's currents. Even today, if you follow the stream flowing from the spring, you can visit various worlds of stories. So here we go.
Okay, well, at first approach, this is gorgeous.
I love this Tangled sculpture where the water runs down her hair, and Pascal is so beautifully carved into the side of this rock. It's a little hard to see, but at the base of the Rapunzel carving is the sundrop flower that gave Rapunzel her powers.
I mean, the fact that they still have a little bit of like snow covering the rock where Elsa is, just in that little section with Olaf admiring both Anna and Elsa, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, and I really love how Peter Pan kind of comes bursting out of the cave structure too.
And then I like that under him is Tinkerbell's, like a carving of Tinkerbell, and behind her is the pixie dust.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so beautiful and like grand.
I mean, what a way to be welcomed into a new land, a new port of call.
If we're walking closer, I really love this little detail that even the flower work is red where the feather in Peter Pan's cap is. Such a cool little detail. The rock work does not stop as you get into the land. It's so cool how it like reveals itself to you. You don't have that walk in and see the volcano moment. It's sort of like come in and start noticing more and more stories that are being told. Oh, it's so beautiful. We've seen Thumper and Flower and Bambi and Pocahontas, and it has like Tree of Life at Animal Kingdom vibes, where the more you look at it, the more characters you see. So cool.
It took 1 minute.
Hey, Molly, you think those are bathrooms or?
Not in Tokyo.
Not in this part.
Yeah. Holy cow.
Holy cow. Holy cow, everybody.
What I was gonna say was
Different.
different.
Yeah.
Different.
We've worked our way into the Rapunzel's forest section, and not only do they have the tower, but there's Rapunzel singing, and it's like a better animatronic than most I've ever seen. And it's just up there singing.
She's just there. And while we are here in Rapunzel's Forest, we are going to go on our first ride of the day, Rapunzel's Lantern Festival. This is a family-friendly boat ride celebrating Rapunzel.
We have made it into the queue. Now, we do have priority access with the tickets that we have, which means we'd be going in through the expedited line. But we asked if we could go through the regular queue so we could look for all the details and Easter eggs and see the full queue, because often the expedited queues cut some things off. And they were very nice and they were able to accommodate. So if you want to do that, make sure you're very polite. Oh my gosh. Okay, so for my attempt at spoiler-free research on this ride, we are visiting Corona the day the Lantern Festival happens. But like, look at all these details. You've got Snuggly Duckling presenting Ladies' Night.
This note is a misconnection from the Cupid guy to Mother Gothel. Because it says, well, I think it's Mother Gothel. It says, I compliment you on your horns, you punch me in the nose. Now I'm in love. Find me at the bar because I'm not leaving till I see you again. I'm the handsome one with the diaper and angel wings.
He's just looking for love, you know?
Maybe it's not Mother Gothel. He's
Looking for love.
As you walk through the queue, you have to pay attention to a lot of the books that are on the shelves here. They have The Legend of the Golden Flower, which of course is the story of the Golden Flower that brought Rapunzel back from sickness when she was a baby. Then you also have Thugs Deserve Hugs Too, which is a reference to all of the thugs at the Snuggly Duckling. And you know what? They do deserve hugs. I also love that they have all of the different variety of wanted posters, not only for Flynn Rider, but also for like the Stabbington Brothers and Shorty. Well, That was beautiful.
That was a beautiful ride. Best bathroom I've ever been in.
Wow, I was very easily moved to tears in the lantern scene because it is so stunning. So beautiful with all the lanterns everywhere. And the animatronics, like, I gasped when I saw Flynn. I didn't think he would be there for some reason, and like, it was such a beautiful animatronic, and then followed by Maximus.
It's altogether such a beautiful ride, telling a great story. I found myself just wanting more.
Yeah.
Is where I was.
It's a pretty short ride, I would say.
You get all of your, all your favorite characters from Tangled. No Mother Gothel.
No Gothel.
Which, of course, in the story makes sense.
She's
but
busy.
She's a little busy, but you do have some of the thugs and ruffians. You've got Pascal, Maximus, Flynn, and of course Rapunzel. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I like the implication that the thugs helped set up the date.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, I like that they're like behind the scenes helping their boy Flynn out a
That's
little
right.
bit.
That's right.
Beautiful ride. Absolutely stunning.
Next up on our things to do is visiting the Snuggly Duckling. The Snuggly Duckling is the iconic tavern from Tangled, of course, where ruffians and thugs go for their beverages? Songs, definitely. Here at the Snuggly Duckling is a quick service food and beverage restaurant featuring burgers. So we're gonna go in and check it out and maybe find a new dream as well. Oh, and look, atop, we have Shorty up there, little weather vane visiting us. It's giving Disneyland.
Now, pro tip, if you are coming to Fantasy Springs, mobile order ASAP as soon as you get in the park because they can run out of spots and these restaurants can fill up. You can have one at a time. It'll tell you when you can book your next one. We booked this one first right away. A couple details I'm spotting right off the bat. I love the place your weapons here, and including Shorty's love arrow up there at the top. Hilarious. You've also, something clearly has gone terribly wrong in here at some point. All around the Snuggly Duckling, you can see different weaponry, meats. There's an axe in the ceiling, ale, everything you need to be a ruffian or a thug.
We also can see on this art on the side of the Snuggly Duckling that it appears that at one time the Snuggly Duckling was built level and next to a lovely tree, but as that tree grew, the roots grew under the Snuggly Duckling, ultimately kind of taking over the Snuggly Duckling and really knocking it off kilter. So this is the Snuggly Duckling we know and love today.
And here is our haul from the Snuggly Duckling. We have picked up the standard burger, Rapunzel's sweet treat in a frying pan, which is really cute, love that. The shrimp burger, French fries, a caramel muffin, and Rapunzel's milk tea. All told, I'm excited to try this.
First up, the shrimp burger, which as you can see is a big piece of fried shrimp and like some
Cabbage.
Cabbage, thank you.
A little bit of like a
and some
mayonnaise
kind of remoulade, aioli, something. I'm going for a bite in the middle. Some very soft bun.
That feels like sacrilege with the way the shrimp is shaped.
I like it though. It tastes like pretty good tempura style shrimp. It's really crispy on the outside, not overly salty. I like the little bit of crunch from the cabbage, and I really like the remoulade. It's a little bit tangy, almost like a Thousand Island kind of. I wish there was more of that. The bun is like very doughy. I think it's pretty good. I would definitely eat this again.
And here's the regular burger, which comes with a big piece of tomato, what I'm imagining is bacon, but we'll call that Canadian bacon. Cheese, the burger, and then the same remoulade and cabbage below. Cheers. There's a lot happening there. My first thought is, wow, do you taste the ham? I don't really taste a lot of the burger, if I'm being honest. I know that it's there. It feels hearty. It adds some weight to the dish. But what really shines through is like the ham, tomato, and then the cabbage and remoulade. So I understand that there is a burger on here, but it is not a burger I am tasting. But I also weirdly really enjoyed it. So would get again.
All right, I will try the sweet dessert, lemon and strawberry edition.
It's cute.
I like that it's in the frying pan. Cheers. What I can say for sure is that I like the fruit flavoring. It's very natural. It's very light. What I can't say for sure is what I'm eating.
Hey there, Future Alan here. Thanks to numerous DMs, we actually learned that this dish is called a Dutch baby, which is a German pancake. And that makes sense and is quite fitting because this is Rapunzel's restaurant. So thanks, Mam Fam. We appreciate you.
It's like a very thin, very soft pastry. Doesn't taste eggy, maybe like crepey. Yeah, very strange. But yeah, sure. I'd say without the sauce, it's not like super sweet. It's pretty subtle in taste, but the fruit sauce is very good.
All right, so here we have Rapunzel's milk tea. I mean, it looks pretty. Just again, it is sweet, but not cloyingly so. Comes with a little bit of like tartness on the back end. It's a little fruity, lemony. It's kind of like a sweeter, more smooth Arnold Palmer with boba. So if you don't like boba, actually I shouldn't say boba. These are like tiny little jelly pieces. It doesn't strike me as like the circular boba, but I like it.
And last, we have, they're calling it a muffin, but it looks more like a cupcake. But what's cute is you can see who baked it, because Attila wrote his name on there, which I think is very nice. And unfortunately, it's the annoying kind of wrappers, which I was told in the comments, they use these because you don't need a muffin tin for these. The cupcake will stand up on its own, but it's still annoying to open. But I respect that. All right. Butterscotch. Because it tastes like butterbeer. Honestly, this is my ideal version of a cupcake because it's very minimal frosting and the cake itself is very delicious and moist, but not overly sweet on its own. It does taste more like a hearty bread. And then you've got the sweetness coming from the butterscotch in the frosting, and then there's a little cookie on top. This is a very good and cute dessert. I'm very into this. We've discovered another layer of the cupcake. There's a delicious butterscotch filling in there. This is honestly a top tier. This is the best Disney cupcake I've ever had.
Whoa.
Disney.
It's not a high bar.
Disney World cupcakes are not this good. I don't love Disney cupcakes. This one is good. I thought the Snuggly Duckling was pretty cute.
Very cute restaurant.
Pretty cute.
I thought the food was pretty good. I mean, it's not the best food I've had at Tokyo Disney, but I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, the theming definitely. If you are a fan of Tangled, there are so many little Easter eggs and nods, especially to all your favorite ruffians and thugs in there.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, we went on a Easter egg detail palooza where we were just walking around trying to find as many as we could, and we're going to share those with you now.
Yes.
I'm going to start with just kind of the general atmosphere and the fact that the ruffians and thugs have used things like their own armor and helmets to make decorations, lanterns, the fireplace even. It's cute to me, and the whole vibe in there is very metal and tough guy ruffian
Well, until you get to the third room, which has been totally taken over and painted by Rapunzel.
Yes.
Yeah.
You get all those beautiful purples and golds that you've seen in all of Rapunzel's paintings.
Yeah.
Stunning, and very different vibes from room to room.
Yeah. Couple things I loved in the Rapunzel room. I loved her wedding announcement with Eugene. I loved the unicorn. Ulf.
Yeah.
No, what's the
Vladimir
unicorn?
collects
Vladimir.
ceramic unicorns.
He had some of his on display. I thought was nice.
He had them on display. He had pictures of them, and then ones that he had pictures of on the wall, he had also on display in the room.
He's proud of it. And he said there's a poster saying he's going to go on a traveling collection of. You could go see the unicorns. There's also a lot of Maximus Easter eggs in there.
Yeah, there was an entire section of the wall dedicated to Maximus, and a poster where he's getting a new award as captain of the Equine Guard with the 14 skillet salute.
Oh, good for him.
And I just love that
He
a
deserves it.
skillet has become an accepted form of weaponry in Corona.
Of course it has. Going back before that room, another one of my favorite details, my new favorite ruffian is Fang, because Fang is going to host a puppet show because he's made beautiful puppets.
Yeah.
But right next to that is a sign saying it's a wanted poster for Fang for stealing socks.
No, nice.
And then
Saw the
next to that are his sock puppets of Rapunzel and Flynn. And I don't know that they should be offended, perchance, but I would ask some questions about what I look like if Fang made me that sock puppet.
Also, if you looked above the wall in that room, you would see that somebody has made some marionettes of Pascal and Maximus for a little puppet show later on. But hidden in the corner in the top of the room is a Pinocchio marionette.
Love that little nod to the OG Disney marionette. In that same room, you also see some of Attila. He's the baking Hun. He has some of his recipes and awards that he's won for his baking, so that's cute.
And in the first room, it looks like the most roughest of rooms. A little fighting, there's weapons in the walls. You also notice Hookhand's piano,
Yes.
as well as all of his different hooks and attachments so that he can play that wonderfully. And it sounds like he's going on a world tour on his wanted poster.
I'm proud of him.
But my new favorite ruffian is Big Nose, because on one wall there are all kinds of love letters between Big Nose and a Valkyrie that he met, including a poem that was written called I Have More Than Extra Toes.
beautiful. And speaking of love, Shorty, the Cupid ruffian, he's got his heart-shaped boxers up on the loft there. So just beautifully themed restaurant, tons of details. Take a second if you come here to walk around and look around because you're gonna spot some great things. Continuing our exploration, and we've found ourselves in Neverland. There's a map here for Skull Rock, but I've been distracted by the literal Jolly Roger that we can go explore and play on, because of course you can. In Tokyo DisneySea, unlike any park I've ever been to, they build everything. In where other parks it would be just a set piece, it's a practical place that you can go explore, which we're gonna do right now. Because, well, we are the Lost Boys today after all. First of all, just stepping onto the ship is absolutely gorgeous because you have the beautiful Neverland mountains and the clouds in the background, and the scale of the entire land and the Jolly Roger are really put into focus here. And that's just first impressions before you even start noticing some of the many, many details.
Sitting down at Captain Hook's deck desk, we have his crew log with Mr. Smee, first mate, Mullins, the bosun, Starkey, the quartermaster. Starkey, if you'll recall, is the big chap who carries around a sword in his mouth. All of these are different folks in the crew. You have his dagger, his hook he's left behind, as well as a map of Neverland. You'll also see a ton of drawings and basically shenanigans from the Lost Boys throughout. Here they have drawn on these signposts as you make your way onto the deck of the Jolly Roger with a variety of fish and sharks. And we, of course, have Max up at the wheel, taking on his his role as captain of the Jolly Roger. Hello! You also have a variety of hooks. Hooks? Oh, we're listening?
I assume it's Hook and Smee. And then you've also got the shaving kit over here. And if you look at the different barrels, they have funny names, like Snoot Vineyards and Tingly Spirits Distillery.
I mean, just taking a look at all of the details on the ship, you'll even have areas where there are these slight indentations on the side of the ship itself, where swords have struck it during the many fights between Captain Hook's crew and Peter Pan and his Lost Boys.
Having thoroughly explored the Jolly Roger, avast, matey, we now must follow the Lost Boys' signs. You might have noticed their graffiti, their handiwork all over Neverland, not only through painting, but also they seem to have made little maps and games in the ground. There's all kinds of signs of the Lost Boys around. Of course, we have joined the Lost Boys today, and we are heading now, following their directions, to Skull Rock.
Now, as Max did very kindly point out, we have joined the Lost Boys recruits today with these cool hats. I think we should introduce ourselves, or at least which Lost Boy we're wearing.
I am Slightly wearing he is the fox, apparently second in command to Peter and the tallest.
That is you. I'm Cubby, who's the bear, which fits. Cubby is, when we looked it up, known as the most emotional and impulsive of the Lost Boys. So, yep.
Just give him a second. Nice.
Well said, Toodles.
Well said, Toodles. All right, and with that, let's head to Skull Rock.
Following the leader.
The leader. Well, we go.
Wow, Toodles, you're right. That is treasure as well as the boat Smee rose in the movie. Hey, Toodles. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? That does look like more volcanoes for more lava. Look upon Neverland and the additional volcanoes for us to harvest more lava, allegedly. I can't help but notice that the sightline in this view, you cannot see any other part of Tokyo DisneySea except for the volcano. And that is absolutely on purpose.
All right, so here we found the Lost Boys in their self-portrait. So we have Slightly, Cubby, and this is, I'm sure, that one of the twins. We'll count them as both the same person. And then, very likely here, we have Toodles.
Is that me?
Yeah, here, Cubby, right there.
I think I'm that one.
And what they were doing is they were jumping here to see how far they could land. And they had these different points that they jumped from and landed on. And they were, you can all see them walking back up to try it again. And it looks like, I think the twins have an advantage because there's two of them, but nobody knows which is which. But you're not telling me you're going to try this.
You thinking what I'm thinking, Toodles? We are in our 30s, Doodles. This could get dangerous. We can do it, though.
Can you? This is a terrible idea.
1, 2, 3.
You got another point. Good job. How do your knees feel, Toodles? That sounds about right. How about yours?
Making our way to our next attraction and loving this Mr. Smee and TikTok Croc like dummy for the Lost Boys to have target practices with. They're so like adorably homemade. The more you look at them, you can see the paint jobs. You can see that they're using different materials they could find around, like wood and buttons and burlap. I'm not gonna ever get over the detail in this land. It's unbelievable. I feel like I'm really in Neverland right now. From all the Lost Boys drawings and paintings, as the other Lost Boys here have pointed out, to the footprints everywhere of all the different kids. Like, it's just unbelievable. Another detail just noticed, from this light fixture, you've got 2 messages in a bottle, and they've got some scrolls in there. This one, they're hard to read. It says something about the largest jewel, and this one says, "John, John," Michael would cry, "wake up. It's true. He did fly," which we believe to be a quote from the book by J.M. Barrie. Very, very cool Easter egg. And now we're headed to ride Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure. This is the only attraction in Fantasy Springs that has a height requirement, 102 centimeters. That's about 40 inches for my non-metric user friends. Don't worry, I had to translate that as well. It is a 3D boat ride adventure, and that's pretty much all I know about it, because again, I tried not to spoil anything before coming here. But we have asked. Now, the first time we went on Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure, we went through the priority access queue because the standby queue was backed up about 45-50 minutes. But spoiler alert, we did go through the standby queue on a later date. Going into the priority access queue, it's very similar to the theme of the entire Neverland area. You're going to have lots of drawings by the Lost Boys, and you're actually going into their home. You're going into the Forest of Neverland, so you're going to see hanging lanterns and different devices they're using to live in the trees. And as you approach the pre-show, you can actually see Hangman's tree, where their hideout is, looming over top you.
Yeah, Tinkerbell! フック船長がどうしたって？みんなも来てくれるよね。ロストキッズ全員の力が必要なんだ。来てね。川のボートに向かえ。海賊たちも行くぞ。
We have just been recruited by the Lost Boys and Peter Pan to go help John Darling, and now we are truly in their hideout, which has the same theme as the rest of Neverland. There are homemade signs, and things are kind of pell-mell. You can definitely tell that the Lost Boys constructed this. A couple things I truly enjoy is this sign over here of all their different tales. I also really like this portrait of Mrs. Smee, Mother Smee, Grandmother Smee. Not too sure, but I like it.
戻ろう。行くぞー。お前もだ、ピンク。いつまでも子供のままでいてね。じゃあ、また会おう。
Okay, so that was Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure.
So it turns out that we were recruited by Peter Pan and the Lost Boys to help save John Darling, who was captured by Captain Hook and the pirates, and we had to go get Wendy and Michael and see the mermaids and see the Indians and everybody to go help rescue John from the pirates.
Now, I will say that it felt a little bit like we were seeing a more fleshed out and full story of Peter Pan's flight, which you would find in the domestic parks, displayed through a variety of screen scenes.
It is in 3D. It is not a boat like an actual boat. Your vehicle is a boat that's going to be enchanted by pixie dust from Tinkerbell, so you're going to fly. But the ride system is very, very similar, if not identical, to Transformers The Ride 3D or The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man at Universal Orlando. You're working through practical sets with screens that have 3D elements to them.
Okay, but let's talk about our favorite parts of the ride, shall we?
I just, in general, really liked the effect of making us fly with the pixie dust. The way the vehicles moved was very, very interesting. You could feel the difference in when you were just floating as a boat and flying with Tinkerbell. So I just think the vehicles were pretty cool.
I think in certain aspects of it, because I agree about the vehicles, I think in certain aspects of the attraction, some of those scenes were pretty immersive. Some of the screen scenes, not as much. But when we were in that fight with the Jolly Roger, there was a cannonball that fired overhead, and the way that the ride vehicle whipped around, it made you want to follow where the cannonball went, its trajectory, and it just sort of like flew off screen and then it brought you back to the action, but I just thought that was handled really well.
Toodles, what was your favorite part? Oh, yeah, that was a good part. Overall, I do think it's very cute, well worth the ride. The queue is very adorable. The pre-show is very cool. But for me personally, it wasn't my favorite just because I'm never going to pick 3D and screens over a practical moving attraction with animatronics. And while I can appreciate the practical sets and the 3D was very, very good, I just always prefer just like physically moving, no matter how good the attraction is.
I agree.
We did indeed go through the main queue at a later date, and one thing that we learned, unlike other queues, you're not really missing much by going through the priority access queue of this attraction. Some details we did enjoy were the lookouts where the Lost Boys can be posted up and keep an eye out on things, all of their individual little beds, a rocking horse that they have lovingly constructed, and then my personal favorite is a little marker denoting the target practice between some of the Lost Boys.
We were on our way to Cookout to pick up a bite to eat when we saw this little setup by the Lost Boys. You have a totem pole of TikTok Croc, Mr. Smee, and Captain Hook here, along with a tent where they are apparently, if you look at the footprints here, playing a game of marbles inside of this teepee. The Lost Boys have been everywhere here. They have done such a good job of decorating this space and giving some games for other kids to play. Love that. And up next, we have some more treats on our horizon. We are headed to Cookout. This quick service restaurant serves some fried chicken 2 different ways, and it's packaged in a very cute way, almost like you've made a pail of a lunch to be carried by, I don't know, maybe some Lost Boys as they go out on their adventures to stop and eat on the way. I'm even more convinced about this assessment the more I take in how Cookout is constructed. This has a very Lost Boys built this feel. They've got their painting signifying you are indeed a Cookout. Some thatched roofing, pell-mell construction at the top there, ending with a salvaged boat. I think they did a great job. If we needed more confirmation, this is indeed constructed by and also seemingly a living spot for the Lost Boys. You've got their costumes up here, so there is. You're going to pick up that later.
That's
then
mine.
There's
It'll definitely fit.
100%. Then there's Slightly's. That's mine. I am, however, looking for.
Oh, you missed the twins.
Well, I know we have the twins there, but
Marmaduke and Binky.
yeah, Marmaduke and Binky. And we can't tell who's who, but we're missing We're missing Toodles and Nibs.
Big shout out to Toodles for bringing to my attention what is possibly the best Easter egg or detail in this entire land so far. If you look at the Lost Boys drawing up above this pumpkin head, it's 3 of the Lost Boys dressed up like the hitchhiking ghost from Haunted Mansion. And then we kept looking at the drawings, and over here you've got some of the Lost Boys as well as Mr. Smee napping with the pig like in Pirates of the Caribbean, and they even have the dog with the keys, and I'm unwell. All right, we've picked up our haul from Lookout Cookout. Toodles, show us what we got. We got butter, curry, chicken, Lookout Kids snack pack. We got lemon tea chicken Lookout Kids snack pack. We got a Lookout Cookout brownie. We have a pixie dust non-alcoholic beverage. It's kiwi flavor. And then we got, you know, iced coffees and colas and normal things. Thanks, Toodles. All right, so since Toodles can't exactly give us a full review right now, Alan and I are going to review the 2 Lookout snack boxes. First of all, again, how cute is everything with the little drawings of the Lost Boys? Both of them come with, what is this?
Shrimp chips.
Shrimp chips, seaweed fritters, a like puffy loaf of bread, banana chips, and chicken. My chicken is butter curry.
My chicken is lemon tea.
Cheers. Oh, that's lovely.
This is pretty good too.
It could use a sauce,
Good.
but it's a very not dry chicken tender, and it has a little bit of that curry flavor. It's like almost like a curry rub on the outside. I actually wish it was stronger because I really like curry, but this is delightful.
All the same notes except for the flavor profile is lightly lemony, a little bit of citrus, and then on the back end, if you wouldn't know it if you weren't looking for it, there's a little taste of tea, like green tea. Oh, that's good.
Now let's try a seafood fritter.
You mean a seaweed fritter?
Seaweed fritter.
Think-
Seafood for someone.
Oh, dense. The interior kind of reminds me of the interior of a hush puppy, without the crunchy exterior. Similar to like flavor profile to hush puppy, but with the distinct flavor of seaweed, which is salty and a little lick of the sea.
Now a shrimp chip.
Have you ever had one of these?
No. Texturally, it's like what they put in styrofoam, but it's fine. It tastes like a chip. It doesn't taste like shrimp.
It's a packing peanut that the shrimp whispered on.
Yeah, it's just salty. It's fine. And a banana chip. I think I know what a banana chip tastes like, but for good measure.
Hey, it's a banana chip.
Oh, thank you, Toodles. We had not reviewed the bread yet. It's more like what the UK you'd call a Yorkshire pudding.
So yeah, it's a bread puff.
Just bread.
That's, hey, you know
Buttery.
what?
My favorite part of this is the chicken. I would eat this again. It's a good little shareable. It's definitely a hearty snack or like a lighter meal.
I think right now, this is like my preferred go back to.
Over the Snuggly.
Yeah.
I would go to the Snuggly. Also gonna try the sweeter items. I'm gonna go with the brownie.
And I have Tinkerbell's Spritz.
It's a pixie dust.
Oh, pixie dust Spritz.
Kiwi. I bet when you stir it, it changes colors. Because it's magic. I know you can see the colors changing.
I can, thank you very much. It's gone from translucent to less translucent. I need you to... Whoa, the pineapple thing is broken down into smaller pieces too.
All right, ready?
Wow. I mostly got kiwi syrup. I need to stir it more. Hold on. You talk about yours first.
It tastes like a brownie. It's a really good brownie. It's moist, not overly sweet, got a nice piece of chocolate on the outside. Nothing super exciting, but it's cute, and if you want a simple chocolatey dessert, you won't be upset.
Sprite and kiwi syrup came together to make this drink. If you enjoy kiwi, you'll enjoy this a lot. And the star is like an interesting, I thought it was pineapple, but it's actually like a little ginger puff.
Oh, that's nice.
I wish I had more of those.
Hey, Toodles, as our resident mocktail expert, what do you think? Well, that was Lookout Cookout. Very cute, again.
I find that so immersive because it feels like the Lost Boys built that space for you to come and eat some of the food that they like to eat. Everything's just so eclectic. It's so sort of down up put together, but it's still uniquely Neverland, showcasing pieces and parts of all of the different areas of Neverland, from the Mermaid Lagoon, seashells throughout, some sand dollars on the floor.
They were playing tic-tac-toe with different shells, which was really cute on the ground. They also had some things from the native Neverlandians, I want to say. I want to be respectful. The indigenous peoples of Neverland. They had built a totem pole out of some different items they had found and some different quilts and things, so it was fun. There's a pirate section too. It's fun to see how they decorated their lookout with the different things they're collecting from the areas of Neverland. And the food's pretty good too.
Yeah, the food was pretty tasty.
What do you think, Toodles? Toodles says the curry chicken's his favorite thing he's eaten today.
One specific detail I noticed was that John had his umbrella hanging up on an oar inside the restaurant, as well as his top hat sort of seated as well up inside the restaurant. Although it does seem that Michael was able to keep a hold of his bear. That was not located anywhere inside of Lookout Cookout.
We looked everywhere for that bear. But hey, we're not out of the fairy forest yet, because we've got, excuse me, Toodles, Pixie Hollow. We're not out of Pixie Hollow yet, because we are headed to another attraction featuring your favorite fairy. Next attraction today, Fairy Tinkerbell's Busy Buggies. We are gonna help Tinkerbell deliver some goodies, so here we go. We're all equally excited. I think we should all say our favorite fairy. Alan, who's your favorite fairy?
Silver Mist.
Why?
She's a water talent.
She's a water talent. Toodles, who's your favorite fairy? Fawn. Wow. Is that because she's an animal talent? My favorite fairy is Tinkerbell, because if she doesn't get enough attention, she'll die. And I find that relatable.
Are you ready?
No. Yes. Yeah. It's me.
みんな来てくれたのね。嬉しいわ。今日はチーズがお休みで困っていたの。She's so cute.
Well, that was so cute. Let's start with the queue.
Yes, please, let's.
It is so adorable. So if you aren't familiar, Tinkerbell is a tinker fairy, and all the different fairies have different talents. And Tinkerbell is able to tinker and make things out of other things. So because she's the size of a fairy, everything's very big.
And so immediately upon walking into the queue, you are now the size of a fairy. And you see a number of things that Tinkerbell has built,
along with her collection of items that she has that she will use for a future building.
You're gonna see things like coins and bells and crayons and safety pins and matches, all bigger, larger than life. And it is adorable. A couple things to point out specifically. My favorite detail in the queue was that there's a giant bird in a cage, and it looks like not a real bird, but like a mechanical bird. That is a nod to what gave Walt Disney the idea for animatronics. He went to New Orleans, he found a little mechanical bird in a cage, and he brought it to his, well, they were called Wedway at the time, but they're Imagineers now. He brought it to them and he said, what can we do with this? How can we make this? And that is what led us to the Tiki Room being the debut of audio animatronics, all the way up to the incredible ones we're seeing here today. So I love that they're paying respect to the OG, the history of a huge part of the Disney company. Yes, Toodles. Toodles also wants you to know that you can see a comb in there for your hair, and it belonged to James Hook, who we probably all know turns into Captain Hook.
You can also find John Darling's harmonica in the queue, dated 1911, so appropriate for the timeline.
And there's like a little silver pick that's got Nana's face on it.
Oh.
And this is all just the queue. The queue's adorable in of itself. And then you're gonna board a very cute ride vehicle.
Which, if you look at the back, there is a letter that is bound for 19 at Cherry Tree Lane.
I love that. And you're helping Tinkerbell deliver some parcels to some folks in the neighborhood because her friendly helper mouse Cheese, who I'm obsessed with now, it's his day off. And you go through different little houses and the vehicle turns and, yes, Toodles? Toodles wants you to know that when you're delivering some things to the bees, you can smell the honey.
Oh, also the vehicle itself will, when you go through the ice section with the ice fairies, you slip and slide, because you of course would. We aren't winter fairies.
No, and the best part is at the end when you get to finally see Cheese, and Tinkerbell has delivered a huge present of cheese to him, and he's the cutest little animatronic you've ever seen, except for he's not little, he's giant, because you're a fairy, and I'm now obsessed with cheese, because he got like 8 different flavors of cheese for his birthday, which is also what I would like for my birthday.
Noted.
And overall, I think this ride's adorable, and my hot take is that I like it better than the Peter Pan ride. Yes, Toodles. You also like it better than the Peter Pan ride. Anyway, that ride's adorable, and you should definitely put it on your priority list when you're back here. I feel like it maybe was designed as like the last attraction, like not the e-ticket, but I think it's great. Yes, Toodles. Toodles is hungry, and he wants to try some of the roast beef popcorn.
Okay.
And at Toodles' request, we are at the Pop-Tart here, which sells some roast beef popcorn, right, Toodles? Yeah, I know you're excited, so are we. So can't wait to try.
All right, Toodles, at your request, we picked up the popcorn. Are you ready?
Yes. It is roast beef flavor.
I got quite a bit.
Toots.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wow.
Toots.
That does taste like roast beef.
It's not my favorite flavor of popcorn, but it is my least favorite flavor of popcorn.
I just don't understand why it's sweet, you know? It starts off pretty beefy.
It's growing on me, I'm not gonna lie to you. It smells more intense than it is. It smells very much like meat or like liquid smoke flavor, but it mostly just tastes like popcorn with a little bit of like
Beef.
beef. It's not my personal favorite. I would much rather have like the honey one or the...
I'm glad to have tried it.
Yeah,
Now we know.
yeah.
And somehow I can't stop eating it.
I'm at. Yes, Toots? Toots loves it and thinks you should try it.
Good to know.
And our final section of the lands to explore today is Arendelle.
Toodles,
Yeah.
you can talk?
We're in Arendelle, Alan. Here in Arendelle, you will find an attraction, a quick service food and beverage location, and a food and beverage stand that we are going to explore, as well as many, I'm sure, hidden details, Easter eggs, and unbelievable Frozen theming. Let's check it out.
I'm sorry. What? Oh, wow.
The main castle courtyard is where you will find the Royal Banquet of Arendelle, as well as Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey. Of Of course, up above the castle is Elsa's ice castle. Just notice that not only is Elsa's ice castle up there, but just to really sell the forced perspective, there are log cabins and houses that are built up on the roof of the attraction up in the hills. Oh, wow, man. The theming here is amazing. And then outside the castle courtyard, outside the castle gates, we have all the different buildings of Arendelle. You'll find little shops we will explore and show you what those are. Tons of little window theming. Just, oh my gosh, it is stunning. Look at those houses all the way up there.
Wow.
Wow. Fun little Easter egg in the Arendelle chandlery, which is apparently where you would normally get candles and wax, but here we've got some other goods that have been ordered. At the top of our list, we do have Matthias. This is Lieutenant Destin Matthias. And then also, you might notice, Julie A is getting perhaps a spoonful of sugar.
There's just so much detail in this section. It's kind of overwhelming. Like here at the Harbor Masters, or maybe the noise is coming from next door at the blacksmith, you can hear people making things like banging and clanging. When you first walk into the square, you're greeted by Kristoff's sled, but my favorite Easter egg I found so far is here at this little market shop, I guess a baker perhaps. He's making pretzels, but one of them is a Mickey pretzel. I guess this is kind of like a hidden Mickey, but tastier. Looking inside the fish shop, and these are actually Grandma Oaken's homemade lutefisk. Secret recipe.
She does say, don't let the lutefisk come in contact with sterling silver. That would be a big problem.
I gotta know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious.
Bulletin board, always a great place to look for some details. Wandering Oaken's cold remedy, a healing concoction of his own invention. Don't forget to eat at Oaken's OK Foods. We will not. I particularly like friend sitter needed. You must love reindeer. Need someone to watch my best friend Sven.
I love free gloves. No longer needed.
Oh,
Elsa no longer needs to hide it.
I'm gonna cry. And Let It Go just started playing in the background as if on cue. And then of course you've got Kristoff and his lyrical lute with special guest Olaf the singing dancing snowman. He'll melt your heart. By order of the queen, the gates are open. I love all these details.
I personally love looking for a little bit of humor. Here we have trustworthy cartography, and the first map that they have inside says at the top, trust, but verify. Towards the restrooms, you have carvings of the trolls who have raised Sven and Kristoff right here. Kristoff with his ice block and Sven, of course, with his carrot.
Another cute thing to look at back by the bathrooms. It seems to be that this is Kristoff's barn for Sven, and it's got the royal proclamation that he is the official ice master and deliverer, and his loyal partner Sven has been recognized. And then you've got his signage right here for his barn. I'm just loving. This land is overwhelming. It's so beautiful and so massive and so detailed. It feels like you're there.
After exploring Arendelle, it is time for us to take Anna and Elsa's Frozen journey. This is the attraction in this Arendelle section of Fantasy Springs, and it is a musical boat ride that explores a basically direct retelling of the first Frozen film.
We once again have opted to go through the full queue. The cast members were kind enough to let us in, and we're exploring Anna and Elsa's castle, starting with the room with the iconic wallpaper you might remember from the movie. Lots of portraits that you've seen. Portraits of Anna and Elsa with their parents, the knight, and Max and I just stood at this window for about 10 minutes because he promised Olaf would walk by. He saw it out of the corner of his eye, and he did, and it was very cute.
You can also see a little hidden Olaf up there in one of the ships between the statues of young Anna and Elsa. He is made of what seems to be thatch.
And you don't have to stand for 10 minutes with your camera pointed at a window to see him.
You know, for that one, he's always there.
Always there.
Always
That's
there.
the best Olaf.
Yeah,
just
true.
for the record.
Always there, Olaf. We just moved into the greenhouse here, and hanging on the wall is Anna's coat and hood that she had to buy from Oaken's Wandering Trading Post.
And her boots are over there.
Oh, that's right. Here, hanging on the wall in a room with a massive music box, you have Olaf's In Summer written out in sheet music. I'm so happy that we have that logged now.
Next to the music box, we do have all these little drawings that are super cute because they appear to be from Anna, that she drew a snowman, maybe Olaf for Elsa.
And speaking of Olaf, another not always there Olaf, if you watch the ceiling in the greenhouse for long enough, Olaf kind of skates by and makes snow angels and things.
And as always, I encourage you to go and look at the bookshelves for the different titles of books. There was one that has Olaf on the binding, and it says A Year with Anna and Elsa and Olaf too. Oh, so cute.
Wow, you're doing great.
I don't have as much practice as Anna.
Take me back to Neverland, because I am speechless.
You know,
I don't know what to say. Other than that was unbelievable.
potentially, I mean, it's in the top 2 best attractions on the globe.
Yeah, it's definitely in talks. I don't know what it is.
With the other one being in Tokyo Disneyland.
Yeah.
I think Rise of Resistance.
Rise of Resistance has something to say, but
I mean, yeah,
I
fair.
think that it's at least in contention for the #1 spot. That's an unbelievable.
Of rides we've written all the
We've
rides.
written all,
That's
yeah.
true.
That's
I want to
correct.
make it clear. We don't know all the rides.
That's true. I think certainly in the top 5, fighting for the 1 spot.
Wow, what a beautiful attraction. Those animatronics are
They're amazing.
unbelievable.
And not only that, they're using the ride vehicle in a way that makes you feel like you're a part of the attraction. You're not just there to witness it,
Yeah.
which is something else that the Enchanted Tales of Beauty and the Beast did. It's what Rise of the Resistance does.
When the door spun around for Do You Want to Build a Snowman, my
Heartbreak.
jaw dropped. And then you get dropped into this huge room. Like the rooms, the set pieces are massive. The scale is unbelievable, the whole ride.
And of course, there's a moment in it that is unbelievable.
Yeah, when
When Anna gets unfrozen.
it's
It's amazing.
it's amazing. I mean, it's long. The music's amazing. The pace is amazing. I feel like this and Beauty and the Beast set the bar for what a dark ride should be.
Yeah.
And now I must ask you both. We have now ridden all 4 attractions here. I think we probably all have the same ranking, but I'm gonna get, for me, and you guys can tell me if yours is different. My ranking is Anna and Elsa's Frozen Journey number 1, Rapunzel's Lantern Festival number 2, Tinkerbell number 3, and Neverland number 4 is my ranking.
I would agree.
I would co-sign.
But we're not done yet.
No.
Somehow. We still have more foods to eat, more details to look for, and you know we gotta check out the merch. All right, so we have a little time till we can pick up our next MOA order at Royal Banquet Hall of Arendelle. And I was thinking that for research, we wouldn't be doing our due diligence if we didn't also go through the Premier Access expedited queue at the Frozen ride.
Sure.
So I feel like it's our duty to ride it again just so we can see the other queue.
I agree.
I concur.
The Premier Access queue is very short, but it tells the part of the story about Sven and Kristoff. You've got Sven's medal, you've got carrots, you've got Kristoff's guitar, lute, whatever instrument he plays. Very, very cute as well. One thing I do want to mention is that just because you obtain a standby ticket does not mean you are going to be walking on the attraction necessarily. It's similar to getting a virtual queue in Walt Disney World, where it just means you have a spot in the standby line, but it could be a 20, 30, 40, we've even seen up to hour-long wait. So just keep that in mind. If you want to make sure that you're not going to wait in a long line, you're going to want to go ahead and pay for that Premier Access Pass.
Okay, so we wrote it again.
For science.
We had to.
Can confirm, still good.
Still incredible.
Yeah, after a second ride.
A couple things I noticed that I feel like are incredible. The timing, I know we said it last time, but the timing of the boats and the way they move you through. For example, you slide into Love is an Open Door just as the music picks up. Like, you're moving to the music.
You are.
And it's such a brilliant, small thing that is so impactful.
Yeah. I really enjoyed just like small effects. It stuck out this time, like the staircase extending
Yeah.
during Let It Go.
Another thing that's just phenomenal is that the door slamming should close
On the beat.
On the beat with
the lights. Yeah. I also love when things are unfreezing, the way they made the buildings look like they were frozen and then unfrozen. Also, I don't want to be dramatic, but I would die for that tiny reindeer at the end.
Oh, it's
so cute.
That ride's amazing. No notes.
No, that's
But we have some frozen treats to eat now. 2 spots to go. Let's check it out.
Yoo-hoo! We are at Oaken's OK Foods. Here to have the Oaken's Yoo-hoo bread with cardamom and meat.
I'm gonna try Oaken's Woohoo bread pastry. It's a bread. It's got meat and cardamom, which is a spice often used in Scandinavian pastries. You have there. Oaken knows what's up. That's delicious. Like I said, that's my favorite thing I've eaten in Fantasy Springs so far. The bread is insanely good. It is so doughy and yeasty and warm. It's like stick to the roof of your mouth warm. And then it's kind of got a sweet and savory thing going on. You got the savory meat. I'm not actually sure what kind of meat it is. I didn't ask. My assumption's pork, I think. We're not 100% sure. And then you've got this like sweet but not too sweet jelly on top. So it's a nice sweet savory thing going on. This is delicious. Absolutely would eat again. Also fun Easter eggs inside Oaken's. He's got both his homemade Sun Balm and Cold Remedy. We've seen him advertising up on the shelves. And there's also a book by Christoph that's about selling ice during a snowstorm. Also little models of some of the trolls.
And now, having ridden the ride and eaten the Yoo-hoo bread, our final stop in Arendelle is to eat at the Royal Banquet of Arendelle. This is a quick service food and beverage location where we will be getting a royal set that comes in both beef and seafood. What's truly stunning about this restaurant before we go in is just the absolute scale of the building. It is massive and kind of unbelievable when you see it, that what is inside is a QSR. We have received our Arendelle's Royal set. We did go with the beef option, which means that the main feature here is a beef pot pie. However, it also comes with a smoked salmon trout and orange salad, potato gratin, a bun of bread, and Olaf's marshmallow chocolate mousse. Look at that.
All right, I'm starting off strong here with the smoked salmon and trout salad with some orange on the side here. I mean, that's fresh. Texturally, I always get super worried about smoked fish because it can tend to be super chewy. This is not that. This is actually like fall apart, really good fish. I'm shocked that this is, one, in a theme park, and two, good.
All right, I'm gonna dig into this potato gratin here. Got some little crumblies on the top. I think that's broccoli in with the potatoes. Let's get it out. Ooh, that looks cheesy. That's pretty tasty. The nice chunks of potato in there, very creamy. I love the little crumble on top. A little bit of like the broccoli's really crispity. It's very herbaceous. Definitely got some basil in there, but overall a very delicious and hearty dish.
All right, let's check out the beef pot pie. Ooh, that crust is pretty good. Let's break into that a little bit. Cheers. Okay, well, that's pretty good. The crust is nice and flaky. I didn't expect noodles in it, but, you know, they're fine. And then the beef that I got, the big chunk of roast that I got, definitely fell apart pretty easy, nice and hot. Pretty good flavor. If you enjoy roast in a kind of pot pie sitch with noodles, then you'll enjoy it.
Ding dong, I'm reviewing the bread. This bread. Oh, flaky pull apart situation. Okay. V soft. Spongy. Yeah, it's bread.
I love bread.
This,
Good bread.
this would be Oprah's favorite. I mean, in all reality, it's good bread. It's a. I wish I had more to tell you, but boy, is it texturally quite nice, fluffy.
The baker in town knows what they're doing.
All right, let's try the dessert. Now, this was described as a chocolatey mousse, which definitely that part is. I'll give that a try, but I think that's probably mochi with a little bit of Olaf on there. So let's go to the side first. Oh. Okay. You know, I gotta be honest, it's not what I think of when I think of mousse. Thick and almost cake-like in the middle, which is unexpected. The flavor is good. The chocolate's pretty nice. It's not like overly rich. It's got a good solid chocolatey flavor. You know, I don't know that I'd love to do this with a spoon, but
You know what? We're here.
we're here. We're making it work.
That's good, man.
Yep, that was mochi. It's a lemon mochi, very fresh. This is probably the best part, is the mochi on top, to be honest with you. But just know that you're gonna get almost a cake-like mousse.
Wow, the Royal Banquet Hall of Arendelle is beautiful.
It's also massive.
It's so big. I mean, I know I said like the scale from the outside is stunning, but wow.
You just keep going and going and
I
going.
kept walking and being like, there's more?
There's more rooms to look at.
And there's just so much detail
Yeah.
in the space as well.
It's like walking into the castle. Almost you're in the banquet hall, but it's got similar vibe, and there's portraits everywhere, and a few fun things to look for. Like I was looking at all the bookshelves, and I found a few unique titles you might want to pick up and read, including Visions in the Sky, Magical Accounts of the Northern Lights, definitely a Frozen 2 reference there. Chronicles of Wesselton, Weasels of Wesselton, Reindeer Migrations of the North, 1001 Ways to Build a Snowman, The Southern Isles Surprise, and my personal favorite, Reindeer Ventriloquism for fun and for profit.
And for profit.
That sounds like some under the business table.
It really, really does.
It does.
Yeah, Kristoff gets it.
He gets it.
It's also really cool to look at some of the portraits that you have throughout the space as well, because you might recognize them from the first Frozen film when Anna is singing for the first time in forever, you know, hang in there, Joan, or when she jumps up and freezes like she's on the swings.
Yeah. There's also a portrait of General Matthias. It's interesting. Not a lot of Frozen 2 references, but in that banquet hall, they acknowledge it. And it does acknowledge his new title. And next to him is a portrait of Olaf that acknowledges his title, Bringer of Warm Hugs.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's
sweet.
nice.
Yeah.
Now, we've officially eaten at all of the quick service locations. Which one's your favorite? And I feel like we have to do two favorites each, favorite theming and favorite food.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
For food, I'll say my favorite is the Royal Banquet Hall here in Arendelle. For theming, I think I'm going to go with the Snuggly Duckling.
My favorite theming, I'm going to echo you, Snuggly Duckling.
Yeah.
It's just so cute. As far as food goes, it was a dark horse, but look out, Cookout. There's just something about the way that they did those little box lunches that are just, I think it's so cute, and they're very tasty.
That curry chicken was good.
I am going to go 3 for 3 on Snuggly Duckling for best theming. That's not to negate the amazing theming at these other two. I just think there were more cute details, and I loved just the everything about Snuggly Duckling. I'm bending the rules just a little bit because my favorite food was from Oaken's OK Foods.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I would number one pick to eat again. So I'm going to say that. for
All
best
right,
food.
well, okay. Okay, now that we have wrapped up in Arendelle, we are headed to the Fantasy Springs Hotel, which is where you can find the merchandise for Fantasy Springs. And of course, there is more gorgeous rock work here with Sorcerer Mickey and his magic brooms that are pouring out the water as he continues to attempt to clean Yin Sid Sorcerer Tower. This is so beautiful.
This might be my favorite one so far. You've got Aurora and Prince Philip, the 3 good fairies, and Maleficent as a dragon. Look at the detail. Look at this smoke coming out of Maleficent's mouth. Look at the rockwork and the flowers changing pink and blue from the fairies. I mean, I could feel like the longer you stare at it, the more beautiful detail you notice.
We also have Cinderella, of course, her mice looking upon her as she is wearing her beautiful ball gown, and up the rock steps with the waterfall coming down them. What is that she left behind? But of course, her glass slipper.
And this entire princess section would not be complete without a reference to Snow White. And we have that through here, the magic mirror. You see a waterfall cascading over the sculpture of the face in the magic mirror here, along with, on the sides, all of the birds that constantly surround Snow White as she sings to her wishing well. And guess what? We're not done because we've got a very merry on birthday tea party here to celebrate.
That's the Cheshire Cat.
Cheshire Cat's hiding in the water.
And there's the Cheshire Cat in the water. Oh my gosh! There's his paw on that end here, and his paw coming out on the other end.
And then the Cheshire Cat's body works its way up here. You can see the pink and purple stripes.
Yeah, I sure can. And here is Alice, of course, speaking with the caterpillar as he asks, "Who are you?"
Turns out flipping your fins will get you some beautiful rock work here in Fantasy Springs. It's the part of your world moment with Ariel where she rushes out and looks at Prince Eric, and I know that I reenacted this with pillows many times as a little girl, but if you look at all the detail, again, she's not alone. She's got Sebastian and Scuttle and Flounder and the water kind of behind her. Ugh. These are so beautiful, and the more you look at them, the more you notice. We're in a very long queue now for Fantasy Springs Gifts, which is the one big gift shop inside Fantasy Springs. I do want to note they have a lot of the merchandise in Emporio, which is the main large merchandise shop when you walk into DisneySea. However, in order to buy our head accessories today, we had to prove we had a ticket to come in here. So you can't just go in there and buy stuff unless you have access to the land, which is very interesting. Anyway, just know there's probably going to be a line if you want to come into Fantasy Springs Gifts. And out of respect for all of these people waiting a long time, not going to do a normal Molly rapid fire merch breakdown because it's literally an entire store of merchandise and that would take forever. However, we are definitely going to show you some of our favorite things from the different collections. All right, well, it's very chaotic and busy in there, so couldn't easily and respectfully film and talk about what we were seeing, but know that there are collections for Peter Pan, Rapunzel, and Frozen, as well as just a Fantasy Springs collection. And there are t-shirts and hats and accessories and little drinkware. And a very common thing in Japan are these like little tins that come with different candies inside. And there's tons and tons of merchandise. But we're gonna show you our favorite things that we all got. One thing I was able to get on video, though, there's a bunch of cute Easter eggs from all sorts of Disney stories up on the top shelves. You can see that there's different gifts from different characters to the Fantasy Springs. So you'll see things like Mulan's fan, a shield from Brave, magic lamp, really, really cute.
I got a gray-brown Peter Pan's Neverland Adventure shirt with Captain Hook and Smee.
I also got the Peter Pan shirt, but mine is in green, and it does have a different back print.
I also got a Peter Pan shirt, but mine has Tinkerbell on it, and on the back are her wings. Also, both the Anna and Elsa ears. I was just gonna get the Elsa ones because I like the color, but then look how cute the Anna ones are. And also with the conversion, and just because merchandise is less expensive here in general, these are like $13 and $14. So that's like less than one pair in the United States. So girl math, they were free. Well, now we have officially ridden every attraction. We've eaten at every location. We've explored. I think the only thing left to do is see what this land and specifically the rock work looks like at night. So we're gonna go have a little friend time in the park while we wait for dusk to fall. But you don't have to wait. Cue the montage.
Well, now that we've done that, what are your all's kind of final thoughts on Fantasy Springs?
I think it's beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. It is these stories brought to life around you. I think for me, the area that surprised me the most was Peter Pan. I think I was like, I don't want to say least excited about it, but I thought the least about it coming into this. And I loved the theming over there. I loved the Lost Boys takeover and all their design and detail work. I loved exploring the Jolly Roger and Skull Rock. I was really into the story. I felt like I was in Neverland in the Peter Pan section.
I just want to sort of piggyback. I think the scale of all of these spaces, but specifically Arendelle, it feels like you just walked into the story. It's come from the screen to life here. And that really surprised me. And I'm walking away feeling very impressed by that.
Yeah. And I know we're focusing on these stories, these lands, and these stories that are featured are beautiful. But all around them are rocks that bring other stories to life in beautiful ways. And there's so many of them. It just keeps going.
Yeah,
like everywhere you turn, there's some new amazing thing to see. Whether it is Arendelle or it's an unbelievable rock work of one of your favorite stories that isn't featured.
question is, what was your favorite rock? I'm gonna go first, Sleeping Beauty.
Wow, that is not great. Then I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna say the entryway rockway.
Oh, all the rocks.
I get all of them.
Good.
Yep.
You know what? That's how you do it.
There
That's how
we
you do it.
go.
I can appreciate that, you know?
Yep. Hey, Alan, what's yours? Yeah.
I don't know. I think it came down to two. Either the Sorcerer Mickey rock
Yeah,
with
that
all of
one's
the brooms, or the one that really just punches you right in the feels, Bambi.
Wow. That one made me cry.
Okay.
Magic Mirror also. Shout out Magic Mirror.
was
That was very
Magic
cool.
Mirror was very cool.
They're all cool.
They're all beautiful. Absolutely
And I
stunning.
can't. And you know, we saw them at night by now.
Wow,
so they're
we
probably
did. They're
the
even
coolest
more
night.
amazing at night. Unbelievable how they did that. Overall, though, we had a pretty perfect, amazing, wonderful day. And I think I speak for all of us when I say how incredibly grateful we are to have visited and explored the newest Disneyland in the world. So thank you guys for all the support.
Thank you.
And we hope you enjoyed coming along with us.
But until next time, friends, please be sure to like this video. Subscribe if you're new. Follow us on all of our socials. And if you would like to join with the Man Fam in the conversation about this or any of our other videos, please join us on Discord. We would love to have you. The links for all that are down below.
And until next time, friends, I'm Molly.
I'm Alan.
And it's been magical. Bye.
Bye.